So before we jump into part 2 here, let me just say that a lot of these tests are kind of nonsensical. I mean, any contact with any surface is going to ruin the finish, so me scraping at it here doesn't really tell us much. But it should help you get an idea of what you need to do to get the best and darkest results possible. So let's just jump into it with surface prep. What I did here was I took a piece of PlaPlate, found some sandpaper, sanded it with 320, 400, 800, and 1200. And then down here, I took a file. Hopefully you can tell that I did something there. And then here is nothing. There's probably a better technique to this for using a brush, but this will give you an idea of how it acts directly out of the bottle and by a novice. Alright, this was given a chance to dry, and I'm going to start attacking it with the end of my paintbrush here. I think it's perfect for this, so let's just start with 320 and see how it reacts with a light scratch. $400, 800, 1200, the filed section. You can see where the clumps are breaking off, and then this is nothing. Put a little more force into it this time. Okay, so it's obvious to me that any surface prep at all, as far as sanding is concerned, is going to help. But the larger the grit, the better. So let's do the same thing but with airbrushing. See if we can get a better result. Sorry about the noise. This is my homemade spray booth. It's basically whiteboard and a bathroom fan and an HVAC filter. Maybe I should do a video on this. Leave me a comment below if you want to see a video on how I made this. So I'm just going to be using it straight from the bottle, undiluted. We'll see if I can get anything to come out. This is a 0.35 needle. I have a 0.5 as well if this starts to clog up too much. Multiple light coats. I can see I got a little splatter on the end there. It's pretty dark. I guess that will do. Hopefully you can hear me a little bit better now that all those fans are off. So here we have what we just painted over there. We have our black hole. You can see something going on right there. I either missed that or I put it on too wet. It's hard to tell, but looks like I may have missed that. But it's neat to see it getting darker and darker towards the middle. This is now completely dry. And now the fun part, we get to scrape it all off and see what happens. I guess I'll start from the 320 and just scrape all the way down the line. So here we go, starting with 320. Yeah. So about the same results, I guess. I'd say prepping the surface with 400 grit is probably as low as you need to go. But I definitely wouldn't start with 1200. But this whole test is probably moot because even if you touch the surface, you're going to ruin the finish. So this is more about what can you get away with. And I would say if you just went over everything with 800 grit, you're probably going to be fine. You can see the areas in between where I didn't sand. It got brighter. So basically some surface prep of some sort. Let's take a look at primers and how they affect the paint.